Okay, so the reason I made this video is actually kind of a funny story. I was talking to a business owner very recently, and he told me something along the lines of, yeah, I think we just need to increase the LSA budget. And I remember asking him a couple of questions first, like how fast are missed calls getting called back? Do you know which leads actually became booked jobs? And he kind of paused for a second and basically admitted they were not really tracking any of it properly. But he still wanted to spend more money. And honestly, I see this all the time. Some business owners try to fix a leaking lead system by pouring more money into it. Before you increase your Google LSA budget, I would check one thing first. And I'm not saying you should never spend more. Sometimes increasing budget makes sense. But if the lead system is leaking, more budget actually can make the problem worse. Because now you're not just wasting a few leads, no. You're just paying to create more leads that your business may not be ready to handle properly. So before you spend more, I want to walk you through what I would check first. This is the main point. More leads do not fix a broken process. They make the problem bigger. If your team is missing calls now, more leads means more missed calls. If follow-up is weak now, more leads means more people slipping through. So the first question is not how do we get more leads? The first question is, are we handling the leads we already paid for properly? This is the common mistake. The business feels like LSA slow. Maybe the owner feels like the phone isn't ringing enough. Maybe the cost per lead feels high. So the immediate reaction is, let's increase the budget. And again, sometimes that is part of the answer. But if the lead system underneath is still broken, the extra budget does not fix the real issue. It just pushes more leads into the same weak process. That is why you want to diagnose before you scale. Here are the places I would check first. Missed calls, slow callbacks, weak follow-up, low review flow, and no booked job tracking. These are not small details, okay? These are the things that decide whether a paid lead becomes a real opportunity or just disappears. And the difficult part is that many businesses don't notice the leak clearly. They just look at the end of the month and say, we spent money, but we didn't get enough jobs. That's why these areas need to be checked before increasing spend. Here's a simple question. If your LSA leads double tomorrow, could your team handle them properly? Could every call get answered? Could missed calls get recovered? Could someone follow up quickly? Could you track which leads became booked jobs? If the answer is no, and be honest with yourself, do not lie, then more budget might not be the best next step. The next step might be fixing the handling system first, because more leads only help if the business can actually convert more of them. Budget does not solve response speed. If calls are being missed at $500 a month, they can still be missed at $2,000 a month. The platform does not automatically make your team faster. It does not automatically create a backup person. It does not text back missed calls. The part has to be built into the process. So before increasing budget, ask, are we responding fast enough to the leads we already get? Because if response speed is weak, that is one of the first leaks to fix. Budget also does not solve follow-ups. A lot of leads are not closed on the first touch. Maybe the customer does not answer the call back. Maybe they're comparing companies. Maybe they're just busy. Who knows? If there's no follow-up process, then more leads just means more missed opportunities. You don't need something complicated, but you do need a simple system. Callback, send a text, try once more, mark the outcome. That alone can make a huge difference. Budget also does not solve trust. If your competitors have stronger reviews, better recent activity, and a stronger looking profile, more budget may not fully close that gap. Because the customer is not only deciding who appears, they're deciding who they trust enough to call or book. So reviews matter. And not just old reviews, review velocity matters too. Are new happy customers being asked consistently? Is the profile getting stronger over time? If not, more budget might send more people to a profile that still does not convert as well as it should. And budget definitely does not solve bad tracking. If you only track leads, you may not know what actually booked. You might see 87 leads and think, that looks good. But if only 12 became booked jobs, that tells a very different story. This is why cost per lead is not enough. You need to understand cost per booked job because the lead is not the finish line. The booked job is closer to the real business outcome. So before spending more, you need to know what is actually converting. Before scaling, I would check these five numbers. First, answer rate. How many calls are actually getting answered? Second, callback time. If a call is missed, how fast does someone respond? Third, follow-up attempts. Is there a real second touch or does the lead just sit there? Fourth, review velocity. Are reviews coming in consistently or has the profile gone quiet? And fifth, cost per booked job, not just cost per lead, cost per booked job. If these numbers are weak, more budget may simply scale the leak. And this is where a diagnostic can be useful because sometimes the issue is obvious once you look at the full system. If you're thinking about increasing your LSA budget, I can take a look first. No passwords, no account access. I'll just show you the obvious leaks and two quick wins before you spend more. This is the smart order. First, fix the leaks. That means missed calls, slow callbacks, weak follow-up, tracking gaps, the basic things that stop leads from becoming jobs. Second, improve conversion. Turn more of the paid leads into real booked jobs. Then, after the process can actually handle more volume, then increase budget. That order is super important. Because when you scale before fixing the system, you are guessing. But when you fix the system first, then more budget has a better chance of turning into more booked work. Scale what works. Do not scale confusion. This is probably the simplest way to think about this. More budget should amplify a working process. It should not hide a broken one. So before you increase spend, ask yourself, are calls answered fast? Is follow-up active? Are reviews moving? Are booked jobs being tracked? If those things are not true yet, then you're not really scaling. You are gambling. And this is not where you want to be with paid leads. If you want to know what to fix before spending more on Google LSA, I offer a free 30-minute diagnostic, no passwords, no account access. I'll look at the obvious places where leads might be leaking. I'll show you two quick wins, and I'll tell you what I would fix first before increasing budget. If it makes sense to work together after that, we can talk about it. If not, you still leave with useful actions. The link will be in the description and the pinned comment. Start with the leaks, then decide if more budget actually makes more sense.